There we go. Okay, and we're going to see what the ban is from the Rippin and Terran. Do they ban out the Hanzo? Now see, Hanzo on this map really gets... It's all about the boss value. If you can rip that boss down very quickly, you can have a lot more... that gives you a lot of flexibility and moving around the map and that boss control, which often can be a win condition on this game. But he's got a lot of things to jump over in his... in the jungle there, when doing tributes and stuff. So he can be very good, but it doesn't really have, like... There it is. So, not necessarily like the super amazing Hanzo map like Battlefield of Eternity might be, but we're going to get rid of the Shimada brothers. Greymane immediately picked up. Smash pick, not a surprise. Greymane very popular. And looks like both these teams are going to stay pretty meta for the time being. Rippin and Terran going for their second two picks. So we're going to see the ETC Lucio right here. ETC, very powerful tank at the moment. Lucio, such a strong support, at the moment. And Boris Rippin and the Terran gonna deviate from the Fabulous Five. The Fab Five? I don't know what I should call them. You know, you could call them all sorts of things. But, definitely the, especially in NGS, I think we've been seeing a little bit of a change in HGC, but in NGS, it's been Genji, Hanzo, Greymane, ETC, Lucio. Not necessarily in that order, but they're thinking long about it. I'm not sure if they're thinking about those first two picks or whether they are planning the rest of their composition. ETC Dahaka, so the Global comes out. Global very powerful here for sure. Definitely worth picking up over one of the, quote, meta picks. Fine to leave Lucio with the Greymane if you've got that Global advantage. Not sure if they're going to try and match it with a possible Falstad pick. I really doubt we're going to see the Brightwing unless the composition allows for it on the side of Rippin and Terran. Brightwing not a bad pick these days, but they certainly have more supports left on the board here. And I imagine they're going to grab one during this round. Dahaka coming out for Rippin and Terran works very well with the ETC. That CC, Dahaka can really add to a team fight when he does come down. ETC provides such easy CC to follow up on. We're going to see what they go with here. I got to imagine they picked the Lucio. Unless they just don't like the Lucio here, I could see a Stukov coming out. This map has so many chokes and so many different, you know, small areas. But no, in fact, they are going to go for the Lucio, and they're going to grab the tank that they want. So, Greymane, Lucio, Murden coming out for Uncomfortably Numb. And we're going to see the ban for Rippin and Terran. Now, they could ban somebody like Kael'thas. There definitely needs to be somebody who can lane alone. They could ban that person out. They've got their own Dahaka. They could ban the Sonya, Malthael, Arthas. Arthas would definitely not be a bad pick here for Uncomfortably Numb, and in fact, Uncomfortably Numb could ban Arthas this round as well. Rippin and Terran could also ban out. Usually this ban here is very key for the second picking team, because not only does it represent their strategy, they've got to use it to deny anything that the rest of their comp has, but it could give away information about the rest of what they're trying to do, since they've only picked two heroes so far. Not only that, but they have so many picks in between. There are so many picks in between them and the next time Uncomfortably Numb has to draft. So they're going to go ahead and ban out the Sonya. They've already got their solo laner, and in fact, as we're talking about, that's what they do. The next ban coming up here for Uncomfortably Numb, and of course, this ban also very vital, as they're going to. It's going to be a while before they get another hero. So Arthas, be smart. But Greymane, Lucio, Murden, there's not a whole lot. Like, you don't need to ban it. I guess what I'm getting at is you don't need to ban out a counter if you are indeed scared of it. So, we're going to see what they go with here. And it'll also give some insight as to what they think Rippin and Terran is going to do, to see if they can thwart one of their plans. They're going to go for the Uth. They're going to hover that. Very strong healer. Able to give the Divine, the Holy Cow, the Divine Mosh. is one thing, but also a very powerful single target healer, and that could indicate that they're going for more single target damage on their side. So the next two picks up here for the Rippin and Terran, going to see how they round out their ETC Dahaka pick. Now the interesting thing about second pick as well is you get to pick your you get to decide what you want to save for last. And at this point, they could easily save their support for last, not give anything away. Lucio is picked up here for them, and it really seems doubtful that Uncomfortably Numb is going to go for a second support, so they could leave that off the table and grab their next two picks here, possibly denying one to Uncomfortably Numb. I could see I'm not sure, actually. No, that's it. Mage definitely could be useful here. A lot of mages work really well here. Jaina, Kael'thas, either of the KTs really, because of all those choke points. I could see them grabbing up the Stukov in their last pick. Just trying to think of characters that work well. They're going to bring it down to the wire here. They go to 0. And they're going to go for, in fact, a mage, Jaina, and the Falstad. So they're going to absolutely control the global game right now. And Uncomfortably Numb is going to have to decide how to deal with that. If they have Falstad flying over the map, they have the Haka in lane, they're going to have a lot of trouble keeping up in XP. So the next pick coming out here for Uncomfortably Numb is they'll finalize their roster. Now, I said ban on this earlier, and that was dumb because I forgot that they had ETC Dahaka. But I could see them also still grabbing the Arthas as well, although into the Jaina could be a little rough. I could see them going for a Nubarak. I could see them going for... They just need something that they can take advantage of their Lucio pick, but also not get caught into that Jaina. So they're going for the Lyric. They're going to go for a little beefy of a composition. Lyric, very good. Excuse me, into the Dahaka ETC. And Li Ming, really good, is able to stall those tributes out, although stalling is not going to get them a whole lot of benefit with the global on the side of Rippin and Terran. The last pick here for Rippin and Terran, of course, that support, we could see the Stukov. Stukov would definitely shut a lot of people down. Murden comes in, Lucio speed boosts everybody in, and Greymane leaps in. That silence is really going to make it difficult to get into melee range against this team, especially in a place like Cursed Hollow. Li Ming and Greymane really representing a huge amount of burst there. Something they're going to have to think about with this support. The Uther ban, not a bad ban at all, especially if Li Ming goes something very explosive like a Seeker, or if she wants to get crazy or build. So we're going to see what the last pick here is for Rippin and Terran, and they go for the Stukov, in fact. So Stukov, excellent in these choke points, and there you have it. Greymane, Lucio, Murden, and Lyric Li Ming versus ETC, Dahaka, Jaina, Falstad, and Stukov. So now, Uncomfortably Numb, I don't know if Leoric goes in Tomb here. Against the ETC Dahaka, Jaina, with the amount of CC that they have, the Unstoppable from March could be very good. But I'm trying to wonder what the... it looks like I've got some more viewers. Welcome. We've got Uncomfortably Numb versus Rippin and Terran here tonight. So looking at Uncomfortably Numb's composition, I'm wondering... It's really going to be about, like, a poke. It's not really a dive comp, but it's more of a CC comp. Like, who can they catch out? They can't really They can outpoke them, but they don't really want to outpoke them. They really are just looking for that one good engage where Lyra could get a march. He could go in Tomb, but Lucio is going to speed people in, and Greymane and Li Ming are going to try and pick something off, and Lyric and Murden are going to cause havoc in the back. That spooky skeleton, once Lyric gets to 13 and level 16, even more so, that's going to really shut down the Jaina and Falstad damage over on the side of Rippin and Terran. I could expect to see Dahaka going the armor reduction talent on the W to counteract that, but it's going to be about the global game versus the tribute control. And we're going to see how Rippin and Terran controls that game, which I really think is going to be the key to it all. So, in we go to Cursed Hollow, And over here on the side of Uncomfortably Numb, we've got Kicknaz on the Murden. Mr. Monkey Man, I believe, is playing the Lucio. We've got Famous on the Greymane, Patches on the Li Ming, and I think it's the Spectre or maybe Thick Spectre on Leoric. And over here on the side of the Rippin and Terran, we've got Professor Bobo on the ETC, Deza on the Jaina, Soul Punk on the Stukov, Raven X on the Falstad, and finally the Dahaka is played by Humansley. So it looks like Dahaka's going to start out bottom. Very popular for Dahakas to start out bottom and then dig top, get maximum essence without having to be in that big 5-man fight. Dahaka's going to grab that eye. Jaina's going to, in ETC, they're just going to kind of run up here while Falstad and Stukov stay down here with this formation. Looks like Leoric trying to interrupt anybody's rotation bottom. Dahaka not really revealing himself on the map. So both these teams not really wanting to show off, and I like that from both teams here. So power slide for wave clear. Come on. And Jaina clears this up. Famous and Mr. Monkey Man are going to come up top and soak this up, make sure they don't miss any. These people, the rest of the team here stays bottom. And now here we've got the Soul and Humansley versus Leoric. Humansley taking a lot of damage. Leoric misses the tongue. And the Leoric has to back off in order to clear out these minions. And a little bit of tower damage going on here. Meanwhile, ETC is now left alone as Jaina immediately starts this camp along with the help of Stukov. And that's something I failed to point out, is that you want some people that can do jungle on this map for sure. Li Ming, noticing people are indeed missing, looking for that gank, decides to step up and guessing that they may be on the camp. She steps up, gets an orb on their backs up to get some wave cleared. Meanwhile, this Soul Lane Humansley looking low, he's able to redo himself. Re-heal himself, as Leoric not able to have quite as much. So let's look at the level 1 talents. That Bruiser camp is already taken. They are pushing it hard. So third win from Murden, 4-star from Li Ming, very good, especially considering that Jaina. Lucio's going to go, we move together, really looking to make sure they always have extra bonus move speed in a fight. Often you see Accelerando, but not this time. Leoric going for Consume Vitality, so not quite as much wave sustain in the solo lane, but definitely huge team fight scene. Really looking to capitalize on those team fights. Greymane going for Q build. Greymane's going to finish this camp up top. This Bruiser camp still pushing here, but not really getting a whole lot done, but instead forcing him to respond. Murden really caught out there. Huge power slide into Murden, and it almost gets him down. Murden gets down to 40 health. Almost gets the gank there, but Rippin and Terran able to push this Bruiser camp all the way up to the 4. Let's see how much damage they're going to be able to get with this. The big silence stops them, deters them from coming out of that gate. As meanwhile, Rippin and the Terran have to be up here. There you've got a 2-to-1 advantage on this Greymane. They're not able to push in too hard. And down here in the solo lane, you've got those two. They're finally able to back off as this curse pops up, and they're able to get half that wall with that Bruiser camp early. So that Bruiser camp very powerful for Rippin and Terran. Meanwhile, Rippin and Terran also clear top camp. So Greymane clears that, comes down late. ETC is going to be in this bush as the tribute pops. Looking at these talents, no tissue regeneration, a bit of a surprise from Dahaka, but very useful. So Li is going to throw a Q in there. Leoric's going to step up. He's looking really low on health. He's getting very brave, but Deza in the background goes down. Murden and Greymane get the dive, and they get the kill onto the Jaina before she can really do any serious damage. Greymane gets slid on there, but the whole team is there to back him up. Stukov throws a silence in there just to get them out of there, and the first course goes over to Uncomfortably Numb. Falstad going for that season marksman, going for updraft. Now I don't see this very often. Usually you see the shield or I believe hammer gains at 4. Is hammer gains at 4? I can't remember, but not this time. So growing infestation, looking to use that silence in choke points. So Dahaka comes up top to go against this Greymane, but this curse is going to be bottom. Greymane is going to be at a disadvantage as far as the soak is concerned. Greymane's going to have to come down pretty soon. Falstad, meanwhile, down here with this Leoric, just doing soak-in things. And meanwhile, Professor Bobo sets up. Heeming throws a big orb into there, hits Professor Bobo, gets about 20% of his health down. Professor Bobo taking a lot of health. He's able to heal it mostly back up. Big slide though on Murden. The face melt doesn't quite get him jumping, but he tried. He thought he was going to E right away. Leora gets in the middle of everything. It's just probably going to like slow everybody down. I have to assume he went for paralyzing rage. Yes, he did. Face melt's going to push apart everybody. Greyman and Dahaka still top. Dahaka could join this fight at any moment and turn the tide of battle here. Stuka puts the silence down to make sure they can't take that. Falstad tries to channel. Liebe gets a huge orb onto him, but he's healed back up thanks to the Stukov, and they're going to take this no problem. Dahaka does have to come down, leaving Greyman up top, so once Greyman realizes Dahaka is gone, Greyman's going to push onto this wall, and looks like they're going to trade that tribute out for a half of a wall here. Greyman has to back up. Falstad comes in. He just barely gets that tower. And Greyman is going to... Does he have... he goes for the Q. Almost hits him down. He goes down to 300 health. Looking at Greyman, he does not have his tap up, so he is going to have to back. And nobody's going to be up here top for this next wave of soak, it looks like. But both teams at 8. Uncomfortably Numb enjoying a slight EXP advantage over Rippin and Terran. ETC looking for the slide on the Murray. Not sure that they've got the kill pressure here. The jump comes out, and you're just going to scare him off of this wave. Murden's going to heal right back up. Meanwhile, you've got Dahaka back up to full health, Leeming possibly looking for a cheeky orb, and gets it. Brings Dahaka down to half health. And I've got to look at Leeming's build. In fact, going for the Calamity build and down this. So that's just straight up regular damage. It was not secret or anything. So Greymaid grabbing this camp here quickly. They go for the Bruisers up top here. This camp was not be up for 2 minutes. And the Bruiser camp is not going to be pushing against this top camp here. And that Bruiser camp is going to have much better time of things than the top camp, I believe. So this tribute's going to be popping in just 2 seconds. ETC has got this bush. Dahaka burrows into that bush there. Li Ming trying to figure out where everybody is, shooting keys around. And Li Ming, Murden face checks that bush. The drag misses. Stormbolt misses. So the CC is all over the place, but ETC is going to get this for free. Leoric is just staying bottom. Looks like they're going to give up 2 curses here. They're going to try and look for 10 during this, while Falstad stays up top. And this camp not quite clear, but also not quite doing any damage yet. Falstad doing it. Leoric is going to get onto this tower here, and they're going to get these structures up. 10s come up for both teams, and you've got Leoric holds his ult for now. Murden goes Avatar. Oh, up here, Murden is trying to get these push in. ETC interrupts the jump a little bit, gets a power slide onto him. There's the Gust to try and get the kill onto the Murden. I don't know if Falstad understands me. He auto-attacks the minion instead, and Murden is really threatening this Falstad's life. Gets down to about 450, 120 health without the shield, and has to back off. Excellent Murden plays there. Let's look back at these 10s here. Avatar for Murden, Wave of Force Leaning, standard build. Sound Barrier, Leoric finally does pick and tomb, so we're going to see how they, in fact, follow that up and go for the throat coming up from Greyman. Surprised in not seeing Curse built here against the Dahaka ETC, but Greyman thinking he can get onto the back line, but Greyman caught in a bad place. The flailing swipe pushes him back, and that's a kill for for Rippin and the Terran. Excellent job there by that Stukov isolating the out of position Greyman. The drag goes onto Leoric, but Leoric is going to get his spooky hand onto the hockey. He's fine. Liming takes a lot of damage, but he's putting the damage back onto their backline. It's going to be a while before Greyman is able to get up here. Let's look at the 10s for Rippin and the Terran. Wait, there's a huge silence, and there's a mosh. Gets 2 people, gets Leoric. The ring comes out to finish Murden, and Rippin and Terran are going to get this, and this is going to be curse point for Rippin and the Terran. A huge kill on the Greyman leads to yet another 4v5 kill for this, and this is going to be a strong curse. Meanwhile, Soulpunk, Stukov caught way out of position. Rippin and the Terran not getting complete full value out of this. Leoric is back already. They're going to stop this bottom push. Meanwhile, it looks like top is going to be Rippin and the Terrans. They've cleared, this camp mid, and Falstad is going to just go in and get some curse damage done here. It looks like they chased Jaina away. Deza was going to be just fine. Greyman is going to come up here and just kind of poke at ETC Falstad. That could be pretty dangerous for Greyman to have to work through both teams. He eases into the minions and he clears them up. I don't know why I went over there. But Famous going in on this, but they're going to lose quite a bit of structure damage. Lyric stopping this tower fort from going down, but this fort top goes down easily as before. Let's look at the 10s here for Rippin and Terran. Mosh Pit, as you saw earlier. Isolation comes out for the Hawkins, so that could be very powerful. 3v3 here, we're going on Curse, and they're going to save this mid fort as well. So one fort during this curse for Rippin on the turn. Not a bad curse. Ring of Frost, Gust, and Fling Swipe comes out. And they're going to go ahead and start boss immediately. The Haka gets a little bit of a root there, takes some free damage as punishment. And they're going to start this boss right away. Uncomfortably Numb comes over here, and they're going to clear up this top wave while the rest of the team does boss, no problem. I don't know if they realize that they're on their way. This is a really slow boss here. Greymane really being forced to tank this a lot of damage. Lyric needs to stand closer while Greymane wails in this thing. ETC trying to look for the steal here. Gets onto the point, and they're going to contest it. Tries to face him off. There's the Mosh Pit. They're trying to get some damage out. The J-Ring comes out, and Falstad looking for the Gust to steal it. Doesn't need to, as ETC realizes they're all in the point. They're all going to get Mosh. Mosh comes up just in time. The Ring is there for follow-up, and that is a free boss. Double boss play coming in here for Rippin and the Terran. Excellent work by them. Very slow boss take on the side of Uncomfortably Numb is really going to cost him here. This boss only down to half health as he gets through this, down through this gate. Probably going to be able to... He's probably going to die before they get down there. But meanwhile, this bottom boss here, pushing bottom, they're definitely going to get this front wall. Rippin the Terran on the same talent here. Everybody back up to life. All of their ults are up on the side of Uncomfortably Numb. I don't know if the boss is strong enough to get this keep, but it could be dangerous if they aren't careful. But meanwhile, they have to clear this boss up top. I feel like they should have just let this boss go and push on here, but they're going to get a keep easily on the side of Rippin and the Terran. Boss just ripping it apart. Greymane comes on over, just going to try and get some damage on here, but that's going to be it for this keep, and that's an early keep at 11 minutes, 20 seconds. The keep is going to give Rippin and the Terran 16. They're going to easily get this. I mean, they can send any global epa at any time to get this tribute. They thought about getting this night camp, but they decided it's not for them. They're going to back off, and I don't know. I don't know what they're up to. I think they may be angling for the... Yeah, they are, in fact, going for this night camp. Meanwhile, Uncomfortably Numb going to take a consolation. They're not going to take this camp. They're going to go right in, and maybe realizing... Yeah, no, they back off. They realize that their enemy's 16. They don't want to take a 5v5 here. I thought that maybe they might gamble that one of their team might be on a camp and therefore unable to join the fight immediately, but they do have two globals, which really hurts Uncomfortably Numb. Have I been calling him Divine 9? I'm so sorry if I have. That was a game I casted last night, but Uncomfortably Numb is in fact the blue team. So we're going to have the night camp pushing onto this fort, which is still up for Uncomfortably Numb. Dahaka's going to grab this bottom camp. Lioric's going to do his own soaking off lane. Gina's going to throw a blizzard onto that gate. Just why not? They're going to back up, and it looks like they're going to angle for a gank here on the slow. Lyric looks like he sniffed this out. He's going to go through the forester. He's not insanely scared of a gank. He's got his E up, of course, but they're looking to collapse on this 15 to 16. They may try to start a fight here, even down to talent tier. The Ming tries to get an orb onto the team, doesn't quite get it. Lyric steps forward, trying to threaten them. But they're going to find a Dahaka here way out of position. He didn't think they were coming back. This Dahaka's going to try and run for dear life, try and waste their time. While Rippin and the Terran, they're going to go for, it looks like they're giving up. He's dead. They're going to try and back off. Excellent pickoff by Uncomfortably Numb, and that's going to bring them a lot closer to getting in this game. Meanwhile, this top camp is pushing. This top camp is going to get some structure damage. They get 16. We're going to see what the 16 talents are for both these teams. ECC going for Show Shop, are going for the extra armor and power slide. Going to be very aggressive. And Uncomfortably Numb sees that they're up top and says, hey, free fort, why not? Let's take it. 16s, we saw these tunneling claws earlier from Dahaka. The Numbing Blast going to for extra CC on Jaina. Crippling Hammer coming out for Falstad, along with Giant Killer. Very interesting Falstad build here. Pox will believe coming from Stukov, and they realize that they kill the fort, they realize the keep is in danger, they immediately back. 16's coming out for Uncomfortably Numb. Imposing Presence. Mirror Ball for the Ming. Rejuvenancia. Royal Focus, there is the spooky skeleton build for Lyric. And Executioner coming out for Greymane. Rippin and the Terran don't try to force the issue with this keep. Dahaka's going to go bottom to continue to really force that catapult pressure onto the bottom lane of Uncomfortably Numb. Uncomfortably Numb maybe going to try and start something here. Oh my goodness. My mouse is going insane as Professor Bobo just managed to slide out. Down barrier comes out as the Gust comes out, only hits one. The Gust has some anti-synergy with the mosh pit there. Leoric's in two, make sure ETC doesn't have too much place to go. The stun comes out, stops him, but he's going to back out. The Jaina damage is way too much, and Lucio goes down. They try to just walk through that Jaina damage. Meanwhile, Greymane finds a Stukov, goes for the throat, leaving, finds an orb, gets the resets, and more damage goes on to Professor Bobo, and Uncomfortably Numb is turning this game around. It's going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Uncomfortably Numb. At 4-for-1, Dahaka goes down, Falstead pushes people away, and that is going to be a huge fight for Uncomfortably Numb. Well done there by the team. Greymane really finding the chance there with that Stukov, and there was just absolute chaos there as they try to focus the kill onto ETC. Jaina lands a great ring, doesn't quite root that many people. Oh, Falstead tries to get a ton of damage on Lyric. Lyric almost goes down there, but he's going to back off. And meanwhile, Lucio has to come down here and deal with 3 catapults pushing in the bottom. Falstead's going to do all the clearing that he can, and it's only going to be 16 seconds before the team is up. Meanwhile, they're going to start boss here. It's a free boss. They're going to easily burn this down. It looks like they're doing a lot better bursting this boss down than previously. They're going to grab it, and it looks like they may start their own boss. Lucio down here just getting the soak, not really having a whole lot of wave clear. Rippin and the Terran not sure what to do. They're seeing if they're going to get greedy and take this camp. Professor Bobo doing a little bit of scouting. They see that they're not, and they're going to go up and clear this boss. Curse point for both teams here, and this curse is in a bad spot, unfortunately, for Uncomfortably Numb. Murden is going to have a heck of a time trying to stall this out. Lucio's going to have to speed the rest of the team over, and this catapults are looking really rough on the side here, as well as the camp pushing down, so they can't stay in team fight for very long. Murden face checks that bush, gets a face full of Falstead. The Entomb comes out. Falstead eaves through. Greymane dives, and it follows him as he eats at the same time. The Gust forces the dishing game. The ring hits 2 people. The follow-up damage is almost there. Greymane is pushed back. He's not going to take the full brunt there. Lyric meanwhile in the back line, but there's the Mosh managing to stop their drive absolutely cold. Greymane takes a ton of damage. Leoris goes down. Greymane goes down, and that's a 2-for-0. Murden is probably going to go down as well. No, he's going to have his E. He might be able to get out, but that's an excellent Mosh there by Professor Bobo. Just waits for the team to pounce on them, and that's going to be a curse with 2 down with Giants and a catapult pushing on the core. This might be game for Rippin and the Terran. And they're coming up on 20 here.
Blue team's core is under attack.
And it looks like they're able to clear all that stuff up, but without the heroes even being there, they're down to 63%, and I'm fascinated. I'm absolutely amazed that Rippin and Terran doesn't go for core at that place. Greymane is dead for 19 more seconds. You've got a core. You've got the keep the core down to 63%. I feel like Jaina and Falstead, especially with Seasoned Marksman, can just burst that core down. So I'm very surprised you don't see that. But they are, in fact, going to go and grab this camp. This is going to be another keep for them. They're going to make sure they get 20 with that. Maybe they were waiting for 20 was the thought behind that. And we're going to look at their level 20s. But the stun on Lyric looking to spooky skeleton everybody. Gets burst down, but he's going to put his Entomb down. He's going to grab the Stukov, who has the flaying sight to disengage. The shield comes out. The ring hits Lucio. Lucio gets burst down from Dahaka, but it's not going to be enough. Stukov, is way up front. He gets a lot of damage. Drag onto Leoric. And he's going to have to go back up. He's just going to hit some minions, and Dahaka is way out of position trying to get some CC, and Dahaka goes down. And that's a keep for Rippin and the Terran, but it's not game quite yet. But the core is down to 58%, and Uncomfortably Numb keep it alive for a little bit longer. Boss is up bottom. They're going to go ahead and start it immediately with one person down to Hawk it for 43 more seconds. They're going to be able to get this boss no problem, and it's going to push that bottom lane out. I have to imagine that this boss is 2 minutes away, but it's going to be pushing onto a keep while it's going to be curse point. for Uncomfortably Numb. Dahaka's going to be back before that curse comes up. That curse still going to be a while. It's going to be up top, though, away from the boss. And it looks like, though, they're not going to bother waiting for that curse. Who knows when it's going to pop? I haven't been keeping track of the time. Although, Rippin and the Terran has now got another bruiser camp and now a camp coming down. But Grayman looks to these opportunities, even going on Stukov. The jump in from Murden gets the stun onto Two. The Entomb comes up to try and trap them more, get some more damage. The Gust and has anti-synergy with the ring there. That Gust has now interrupted 2 ultimates for Rippin and the Terran, and has really caused a lot of problems for their team fight. Grayman has to back up. They're not going to get insane value off this boss, but they're going to be able to clear these bottom lanes, and boss is going to push out the bottom lane all the way back to the side of Rippin and the Terran, so we don't have to worry about it for a little while yet. But the tribute comes up right now, and Grayman's having trouble clearing these camp. He's going to have to kill these catapults. He's going to have to back, and then he's going to have to ride all the way to the tribute if they want to get this curse. Meanwhile, you've still got a catapult here. It looks like Lioric's going to claim it, and that leaves Rippin and the Terran to set up onto this curse. No problem. This game is getting exciting as level 20 is now hit for both teams. We're going to check out the 20 talents here. Storm Shield, as we saw earlier from ETC. Apex Predator, Ice Blink from the Li Ming. Nexus Frenzy for Boston, really looking to get those AIs, and they're going to give this tribute up. They're not ready for it yet. So perhaps a wise move there coming out for Uncomfortably Numb as they go ahead and just grab a camp, and they're going to push their lanes out and make sure that they've got some space to work with on the map. Meanwhile, Rippin and the Terran all moving top, possibly to clear out this camp, possibly to just pressure the final keep they got remaining. And it looks like Uncomfortably Numb is going for the flank play. They move up. Dahaka sees it. They know what's coming. Leoric Spooky Skeleton's out. Let's see if he can grab an Entomb target. They're in the back. Murden jumps in. Leoric moves forward. A full blizzard goes on to Grayman. He takes a ton of damage. Entomb hits nobody, and the ring comes out. Hits Grayman, and Grayman's going to be taken out. There comes the sound barrier, though. The Gust pushes them forward, but Falstead had to go into the back line to Gust, and he gets ripped apart. Jaina, in the meanwhile, goes down. ETC goes down, and it's all falling apart for Rippin and the Terran. What they thought was going to be a kill onto the Grayman by gusting him into the back. I think it was Grayman, but they're trying to get somebody into the back line to take them out. Forces Falstead to put himself out of position, and he goes down. They're going to take this boss. Meanwhile, Dahaka going to make sure that they can do at least something. They managed to kill a Stukov. Leoric dies to this boss. What? As Grayman backs up, they're not going to be able to kill this boss as quickly as they thought. Grayman's going to chase this Dahaka down, and they're going to finally grab this curse on the side of Uncomfortably Numb, and they're going to see if they can get this Dahaka killed. Dahaka's got so much tankiness. I don't know if his Z is up. Yeah, his Brush Stalker is in fact up, and he Brush Stalkers away, no problem. Murden not there for the stun. And meanwhile, Li Ming and Murden, could be a huge error on the side of Uncomfortably Numb. Murden is almost dead. Li Ming is almost dead. Is this boss going to leash? No, it doesn't leash. If Falstead figures this out and flies in, he could kill a bunch of people here, but no, it's not going to happen. Very scary. So scary for Uncomfortably Numb. I mean, that would have been a wild guess for Falstead, and absolutely crazy to go up there and see if they were hurt at all. Gust is up, though, and it could have been a steal, but that would have been a ballsy play coming out from Rippin and the Terran, especially with a curse up and a boss. Losing a boss, you can't defend that as 5 anymore. So we're going to look at the 20s for Uncomfortably Numb. Hardened Shield, Telrush's Element, Bonus Track Force, Buried Alive for that Science, and Hunter's Blunderbuss for Grayman. And here comes the Entomb up on the Dahaka. They're going to put all the damage on him. He's Science. He can't back out. And meanwhile, boss is hitting core. This has got to be do or die for Rippin and the Terran as they defend this. They've got to burst this boss down as fast as possible. Murden jumping around, gets the stun onto Stukov, just causing a whole lot of havoc in the back as Murden and Leoric completely slow down everybody. Here's the mosh, and they're going to try. It's immediately stopped. Grayman gets the go for the throat in. No, go for the throat. He just hit E, and they go for the throat. Oh, no, it was go for the throat, and it just reset. I looked up the cooldown. Anyways, they destroy them, and Uncomfortably Numb gonna come back in this game, and wow, that is, ladies and gentlemen, a lesson. Never give up in this video game called Heroes of the Storm. Okay, all right, Uncomfortably Numb taking the first victory, and we're going to see if they can get that upset domination here with their map pick coming up next, Towers of Doom, or if Rippin and the Terran can bring it back on Uncomfortably Numb's map pick and tie it up to draw, to stay ahead I'm not sure what Onslaught did, but it's going to be, yeah. It's going to be interesting for sure. Okay, we're going to get this game up and started, and we're going to get going as soon as we can here. I can barely contain my excitement for the next round. And just give me just a moment as I put this together. And wow, that was absolutely insane. And we're going to wait for our teams to bring their other players in. We're going to set up all the settings just like they need to be set. Make sure I'm inviting the right people. It looks like we're having some difficulty inviting people. And both teams played that very well. I didn't see any I didn't see too much. I feel like Rippin and the Terran probably kicking themselves for not making that core call early on. That could have been the end of the game, I think, for them. And in fact, it does give Uncomfortably Numb a chance to come back and, in fact, win the video game. So we're going to see how they respond here in Towers of Doom. I've just noted Raven X is level 1000. Congratulations, Raven X. But the story of that game, once outside of some macro things, like the Uncomfortably Numb really hurt themselves with not getting that first boss as fast as they could. They made a really gutsy, not gutsy, but like they got really dangerous with just Murda and Li Ming trying to kill that top boss, but it paid off. And really it just came down to team fights and a little bit of anti-synergy with the Gusts. So the game very, very close there. It was an excellent, excellent match from both teams. Couple of really killer moshes. Some really good. The ring there, although it did get a good number of people, it managed, I think, to function more as getting Jaina's trait onto as many people as possible and making sure that they were slowed down so that Falstad could get his damage and Jaina could get her damage in and really force apart the team of Uncomfortably Numb. So, okay, it looks like everybody is in. We're going to see if we're ready to go here. This is me, Towers of Doom. Rippin and the Terran is going to... Okay, everybody's ready. We are going to go right into it. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. If you're just joining us, we've got Uncomfortably Numb going up in the first game versus Rippin and the Terran 1-0, and this is the last match of the match. Last game of the match, I don't know. I don't keep my terms straight. Anyways, Rippin and the Terran going to ban out now. Is this going to be Genji? Is this going to be Hanzo? Is it going to be the Chromie? I see a lot of Chromies banned on here. But I'd like to see Rippin and the Terran have... I want to see their synergy work out. Because I feel like once they are all following up on each other, they are absolutely unstoppable. I could see, though, Uncomfortably Numb bringing back the Leoric. Leoric is a very good pick on this map, so I can see them go for that as well. All right, we're going to see what lies in the cards for these teams. Rippin and the Terran bringing their ban down to 5 seconds. And the ban is Hanzo. So Hanzo going to be the ban. They just don't like that Shimada brother. Not sure that they just want to ban both out, but I'm not sure if this is going to be a repeat of the bans previously. They could just get rid of the Genji here. And Genji in that last game could definitely have really messed them up. There's a lot of points where if you had somebody like a Genji, if he was able to leap around and just kill people, that would have been absolutely deadly. So I could see a Genji ban easily from Uncomfortably Numb once again. Really, it's up to them. We're seeing what they like on this map. Excuse me. This is their map pick too, so I'm very excited to see what their plan of attack is. Yep, and there's the Genji, and down he goes. It's me, no redemption for either of these Shimada brothers tonight, as we go into the first pick here for Rippin and the Terran. And is this going to be the Greymane? Is it going to be the Lucio? Is it going to be the ETC? I can see them grabbing the ETC. It's they definitely highly valued it. Not sure if it's first pick worthy for them, but it got a lot of value in the last game for sure. 32 seconds coming out. We have Greymane, in fact, being the first pick. Oh my god. Greymane very highly valued right now by both of these teams. Both first pick each time on Towers of Doom, and they could see that working really well. I've definitely seen teams pick an Arthas immediately as a counter pick to Greymane. We're going to see if that is the case here. At which point, I think Rippin and the Terran maybe just goes Chromie. Or Kael'thas, but to sort of force that damage. But really by picking the Arthas, you force them to do it, and you can respond to that as well. So we're going to see what the first two picks are. ETC Lucio, always popular. ETC, definitely popular. ETC takes the ETC away from Rippin and the Terran. They don't want to see Professor Bobo on that hero again. Did manage to land some good moshes, some good stuns. Alright, come down to 10 seconds to go. They come for them. Why am I so yawny? Why? Alright, there's the Chromie immediately. So Chromie always a favorite on this map. She can just poke out those tributes like indefinitely. Lucio picked up as a support, and here going to grab him again. That sound barrier was able to work wonders for Uncomfortably Numb once it was in the right position. So Rippin and the Terran. Excellent play there by the Lucio as well, for sure. Rippin and the Terran now picking their next two here. I could definitely see them going ETC as well. They found it was just fine in the last match, and ETC here, perfectly good pick. So wouldn't be surprised for that. Wouldn't be surprised to see them grab the Stukov again, give him ETC Stukov Greymane, especially here. So gonna count it down, and of course this pick. I'm not surprised the team goes down all the way to 60. This pick here for the first picking team is always the most crucial because you have 4 more heroes after these two. There's the Blaze in the ETC. Oh my goodness. Yes! Show me the Blaze. And the Blaze stun as a follow-up to ECC is so crazy powerful. You get your oil slick down and everybody is slowed. Excellent counter, I think, to Lucio. You slow everybody down. The speed boost is not going to help you as much as it once did. Blaze, once he gets 13, he gets that oil behind him. That's going to make a lot of muck that Uncomfortably Numb is going to have to wade through. And there's the ETC once more coming out from Rippin and the Terran. So the first ban here comes out for Uncomfortably Numb. We're going to see what they go with. They've got a support. They could drive for a support choke. I don't know if that's what they want to do. I could see them banning out the Jaina. I could see them banning out the Kael'thas, getting rid of a damage dealer and then taking. But they already have Chromie, so they can't really take a burst damager. They are going to go for the support choke here. They don't want the Uther. Uther's got the cleanse. It's got the protection against a Chromie loop. Not too many supports out there left with a cleanse that can manage to get rid of loop. Although if somebody does get looped, Blaze Bunker gets rid of it. So somebody gets looped, Blaze puts down a bunker, they hop in, they shoot some flamey jets, and no problem. All done. Apparently time cannot pass through the strength that is the StarCraft 2 bunker. So we're going to get the ban here from Rippin and the Terran. counting down to their last bit here as well. We're going to see what they get rid of. See if they go for the Arthas ban against the Greymane. Blaze can really just hold somebody down, and Greymane can just go to town. They go for the Auric ban. They do not want that spooky skeleton in their faces anymore. That really shut down so much of the Jaina damage. That was just huge. You know, the Auric just eased through your entire team, and all of a sudden, there goes the massive burst that you once had. So, next 2 picks coming up for Uncomfortably Numb. We're going to see what they go with here. We're going to see what... We're going to definitely see at least one of their front line here, because they have to pick one of their front lines. So I wonder who they're going to have to go up against this Blaze in ETC combo. And I'm so excited to see what Rippin and Terran decide to pair with the Blaze. Uncomfortably Numb, coming down to the 15 seconds for this pick. Really thinking about what they want here. You definitely need some something to accentuate the coming. They go for the Sonya Murden. We can actually see both of their front lines here. So Sonya Murden being grabbed here on the side of Uncomfortably Numb. Sonya can really get those sapper camps are so huge. So Sonya is able to get those camps quickly and efficiently. And Murden seems to be a comfort pick, I believe, for Uncomfortably Numb, or they just truly believe that Murden is the second best pick, second best tank in the game. But I have to imagine they're fine giving up the ETC, fine keeping the Murden as their tank. And now the final 2 picks come out for Rippin of the Terran. We're gonna see, oh my god, excuse me, just what this comp is gonna do in pairing with this Blaze. Let's see here. And we've got the last 5 seconds now for Rippin and the Terran to finish their composition out, making sure they use all their time. They think what they want is correct. So they got Malfurion as they're healing, and there's the Tychus. So Blaze just going to be able to slow everybody down. Greymane and Tychus hopefully can rip through them before they can dive onto them. Not a whole lot of dive coming out on the side of Uncomfortably Numb. We're going to see what they do for their last pick here. I could see them going for a Cassia here. Their damage majority is going to be Tychus and Greymane, and if you blind those two, really, that's going to be shut down. Cassia has so much physical armor. Tychus' minigun will cut through that, but that means Greymane and Tychus' normal attacks are not going to phase her. Blaze, ETC, Malfurion also in their way, so I would 100% say Cassia here. So, Malfurion on the side of Rippin and the Terran. They've got Blaze and ETC have such humongous health pools, as well as Tychus and Greymane having humongous health pools. Greymane has got the extra armor in Worgen form, so Malfurion able to give the heals, and I'm very excited to see what the Malfurion build is here. And the Vala comes out for Uncomfortably Numb. Very interesting. I don't like that, actually. Blaze and ETC able to absolutely get some lockdown. Sonya and Murden can definitely peel, but if you end up in a situation where Vala gets slowed down by the Blaze, gets dove by the ETC, followed up by the Blaze damage, if Blade goes Combustion, decides not to go Bunker, that's going to be really tough for Vala to deal with as Greymane and Tychus rip her apart. So, Uncomfortably Numb, grabbing up the Vala, hoping for that nice sustained damage for her. And this game for Uncomfortably Numb is going to be about whether Chromie can burst down, can outdo the Malfurion. Chromie is going to have to be on point with her skill set so that Malfurion is too stressed to really heal this beefy, beefy team that Rippin and the Terran has got going here. I'm not sure too. I think Lucio's just a good healer. And he's going to be able to speed Vala around, which is definitely going to help her out. Sonya is going to have to grab the camps, and it could come down to macro. But Rippin and the Terran,
heroes.
I'm just excited to see how they... it's almost like having Arthas in your comp. It's just going to lock down the rest of your team. And so over here on the side of Uncomfortably Numb, we've got Mr. Monkey Man on the Lucio, Famous on the Vala, Kicknaz on the Murden, Thick Spectre on the Sonya, and Patches on the
battle
Chromie.
begins in
Meanwhile,
10
we've got
seconds.
Soul Punk on the Malfurion, Deza on the Greymane, Raven X on the Tychus, Professor Bobo on the ETC, and Humansley playing that Blaze.
Well, what are you waiting for?
And here we go. We're going to all 5 mid here as the arena starts. Chromie Vision coming out, seeing if anybody is around. They're going to go ahead and stay behind their wall here until the minions get here. Blaze steps up, gets his wave clear on, and one thing that I have to notice, and I think Cassie would have helped a little bit, is that the wave clear on the side of Uncomfortably Numb is really just Sonya. I mean, Vala's okay, but wave clear on the side of Rippin and the Terran definitely a little bit higher. It's not huge, but Blaze has insane wave clear, especially compared to Sonya. And this, meanwhile, speaking of, this solo lane starts, and I've not seen this solo lane really analyzed too heavily in professional play and places like that. So Cody gonna start there. And they're gonna 3-man this. Meanwhile, Vala over here all alone getting a soak. Grayman's gonna come up here and make sure that they don't miss any. But we're gonna go ahead and look at the talents here. Vala going straight up Q build. Lucio going for we move together again. War Paint now this pick for Sony. Meanwhile, on the side of Rippin and the Terran, we've got no real surprises. Dash going out for Tychus. And there he is, Malfurion build here. Malfurion gets 5 movement speed per ally, so really looking to speed Malfurion around. Very interesting pick there. I wonder if that's there. Easy fix back, checks that bush. Murden's going to be fine. The root is not there in time. And Pyromania going for like a tanky build. Already at 4 out of 15 globes, but we're going to see maybe a D build coming out from the Blaze. Meanwhile, you got 4 pushing on here. Vala's usually soaking up top by herself, and we see Rippin and the Terran decide to rotate to them. Oh. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. Just my chair. Blaze having no problem. Ooh, misses the stun there, but not. Somebody's been able to push the wall and the wave in, rather, it looks like. Blaze has been able to push this wave in rather pretty well, so Blaze is doing really good against this Sonya right now. Vala being chased down here, caught on the wrong side of Rippin and the Terran. ETC is going to see if she can get out. Famous is going to appear out in the middle of nowhere. Is she going to make it? He dodges the stun from Blaze. Greymane comes out. The root comes down to see. It could be 2 here, gang. Sonya spins away, makes it out. Famous is going to be done for finally, but these 4 are going to have to rotate all the way top to catch this Vala. And that could be an overall net loss for them in the experiences. The whole time we had Murden and Lucio soaking the other 2 lanes, while Rippin and the Terran commits everything to track down that Vala. They almost get 2 kills out of it, but not quite. And we're going to go ahead and look at the XP here. And the XP lead here by excuse me, by Uncomfortably Numb, mostly about the minion soak. The hero kill not worth a whole lot. They're going to go ahead and start fighting down here. Chromie is going to channel top. Grayman's going to channel bottom, top as well. And Tychus is going to start channeling here. Martin's going to walk up in his face, get his attack speed slow onto that Tychus. Meanwhile, though, Spectre is chasing Deza around. Grayman just manages to get out. The Chromie blast doesn't really hit anybody. EGC is going to step right up onto that Chromie. Meanwhile, Murden's down at the bottom looking for the flank, waiting for his 3rd one to pocket. Only pockets a little bit, and he's getting chunked down. A big slide, make sure he gets a bunch of damage, but he's going to back up just fine. Chromie throws a W into the bush, doesn't hit anybody. Meanwhile, Greymane thinks he sees an attack onto the Murden, but gets caught in a well-placed time trap by Chromie. But there's the slide onto the Sonya, and Sonya goes down, and it looks like Rippin and the Terran are going to win this fight and get the 2nd altar for them. Okay, they're challenging. Looks like we don't have anybody coming up to interrupt. You know, Famously just walks right into this Blaze, has to E through. Tychus trying to look to see if they can get a follow-up kill onto the Vala. Finally, wow, Chromie and Vala have managed to keep this stalled this long, enough for people to come back. Sonya's almost on her way back, and they're pushing Rippin and the Terran off this point. This point is just insanely contested. And I'm surprised they don't send more people to clear. They do have Sonya bottom again. That Blaze does go mid. Tychus getting murdered down. There comes the root. Not really where you want it to be. Vala steps up, and Blaze could get a a sweet flank here. Professor Bobo steps up in the ATC. Grayman goes in on the Murden. Murden's got the jump, doesn't get interrupted. And this is just going to continue indefinitely. Spectrum goes in onto this Tychus, thinks he can get a good trade, spins to win, gets a huge amount of damage. Tychus is forced to back off to avoid dying as Sonya gets down to about 80 health and has to tap this. Sonya is insanely aggressive. Now Mr. Monkey Man, Lucio starts channeling us, and another interrupt comes out. Both these teams are keeping even in XP. As this game continues, Lucio now going to try and do this again. Blaze doesn't have the interrupt, and finally, this altar goes over to Uncomfortably Numb, who are playing really well tonight. Oh my god, excuse me, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Oh my goodness. Oh, the huge storm build on ETC, as well as the Sonya damage. Professor Bobo is not going to be able to wall that long, and he just goes down. Those heals, I believe, was it from a healing roll? I don't know. I don't know. I can't see their. Yeah, it was not from a healing. I think it might have been from. Yeah, it was a Malfurion heal. I'm an idiot. Anyways, Uncomfortably Numb get their prize, and they get these pumpkins onto this tower, and the tower goes down. So meanwhile, these two are going to go clear camp here. Sonya and Blaze continuing their fight. Blaze seems to be losing now. Although I'm not entirely sure. And Blaze is way up. Professor Bubble finally back alive. Going to try and put a gank onto the Sonya, who has pushed this wave way far up. Sonya's spinning away now that she knows her stall. Everyone's stuns are out. The spear goes on to Blaze, and Blaze is taking a lot of damage. I don't think he'll be able to... Sonya's be able to kill him. But he's going to E out, and meanwhile completes his E quest in a time. So now they're pushing these pumpkins again all the way onto this wall. The pumpkins only get the wall and maybe the tower. They don't get the full thing. But that's still experience that goes over to the side of Uncomfortably Numb. So now... Huh. Oh, I'm so yawny. I don't know what the deal is. Anyways, oh, big spin onto Blaze. And Blaze can end up going down here if he's not careful. Oh my god, there comes the trait out. And yeah, it's not enough to keep you from dying to Sonya. So Sonya kills Blaze. That's going to give them 10. That's going to give them a free altar. Avatar, Rain of Vengeance, Slowing Sands, so no loot here today. Salbear and Wrath of the Berserker are the palette choices. Without. So, Damien's going to clear out here. Sonya's going to come top, and meanwhile, we've got four of these people on the side of Uncomfortably Numb, really threatening this fort. The root comes out, he's turning away. Slowing Sands goes down to make sure nobody bothers them from that immediate left flank. Tychus is making their long way around. ETC wondering if he can go through it and possibly power side through it, or he decides better of it and backs off. The root goes down, doesn't really get anybody. And they're going to go to clear bottom while Uncomfortably Numb just takes this camp. No real threat, but the Greymane and the Blaze are up here. Try to get a gank onto Sonya. Sonya does, in fact, get that camp, and they're forced to clear it. They're going to get this bottom camp as well. They're going to go ahead and back off. So Stormbolt goes onto Tychus. Grenade comes out, pushes more Murden forward a little bit, but they're going to get a Pumpkins onto this fort, and that's going to damage it a whole lot just as the altar comes up. I don't know if they can finish this fort in time, but they're going to damn well try. They do, in fact, get it. Murden walking around.
It should be.
And Rippin and the Terran maybe looking for a kill out of this bush here, maybe looking for somebody to check it. Murden kind of does. ETC reveals that he's there. Stormbolt misses ETC but goes onto the Malfurion in the back. ETC on a time trap. The follow-up is not there. They expect ETC to move forward. The Slowing Sands goes down right in front of the altar, so it's going to be a while before they can get through that. House Ramp now. Bubble starts channeling, tries to force some things out. Soul Punk takes a huge amount of throwing damage coming out. Oh, the Curse Bullet goes onto the Vala, but meanwhile, in the back line, you've got Sonya going ham, but ETC lands a three-man mosh in the back, and Sonya's nowhere near to interrupt it, but Lucio gets off a sound barrier, manages to save everybody. A Malfurion Twilight Dream is interrupted, an amazing interrupt by the side of Uncomfortably Numb. I didn't see who did that, but that saves the entire team and nets them 2 kills onto ETC and Malfurion. Chromie is desperately throwing out damage, trying to keep people